Hi, this is the first set of slides for the PowerPoint presentations for the research methods and writing up your dissertation for the MBA Educational Leadership. So I will take you through one at a time. So as I said, the heading for this is research in your dissertation, and there are 7 or 8 slides in each section, which means you should be able to do them without having to do too much in the way of concentration at any one time, but it's probably best if you do all of them before embarking on the main part of your dissertation. So the resources available and that I'm going to talk about are based on the assumption that you've already identified a topic and that you are planning empirical research. Now, it's possible to do a dissertation without empirical research, but it's much more tricky, and you will need to discuss that with me more fully. If you are planning to look at what's going on in your area, in your educational setting, in your organization, then, or something related to you and your role, then it's probably best if you do something in the way of empirical research. In other words, you are gathering primary data. So if you haven't got to the point where you've identified a topic or what it is you think you're going to be doing, you will need to complete the dissertation proposal. Now you'll notice that on this slide I've actually highlighted dissertation proposal, which means there's a hyperlink through it. So in the 7 separate narrative PowerPoints that follow this one, we'll be looking at these issues: the establishing the hypotheses or the research questions, exploring methodology, concepts of research positionality, what we do in terms of ethics approval, data collection, data handling, and then writing up your research. So in this first PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to be exploring the key points in you starting your research. So we give a number of stages of carrying out your research. The first of which to establish the focus of your study. Now I'm going to talk about that much more very, very soon, okay? But the second stage is your literature review. Now your literature review has to actually relate to your research questions, your hypothesis. So in other words, you're establishing the reason for undertaking this inquiry and this study without doing it in abstract form. It's actually rooted somewhere, either in previous research or in literature that you examined. You then go on to identify what it is in particular you're looking at, which allows you to create your research questions or hypotheses. And the purpose of a dissertation is to answer or to address those research questions or hypotheses. You then move on to point 5, which is selecting the research methods, on to arranging research access, developing whatever research instruments are needed, collecting the data, ordering and organizing the data, analyzing the data, presenting your findings, and writing up, which is the end point of your dissertation. Now, the key issue with any good quality dissertation is focus. And you'll see that I've repeated the word focus, focus, focus. A very simple premise that you can work on is, can you say in one sentence what it is you're trying to do? And if you can't, you're probably stretching yourself too thinly. You now need to go and think very hard about what it is you're trying to do. And your research question, your hypothesis, must have a concept, a context, and a verb. So what I mean by a concept is an idea, something like transitional leadership or transformational leadership or distributed leadership, building collective leadership, okay, something of that nature. A context is where it is located. So it could be in a multi-academy trust, it could be in an independent preparatory school, it could be in an education system, it could be in a different part of the world than the UK. And the verb you need is to try and explain what it is you're going to be doing. Are you going to explore, investigate, evaluate, etc.? So if you look at a few examples of that and say your summary statement of your planned research, does it have a concept, a context, and a verb? Here's some examples. Verbs such as explore, investigate, examine, evaluate, and review. One of those is probably what you're going to do. Okay. Concept is like personalized learning. collective leadership. And your context is the setting, the school, college, or other institution, or the subset, collection of organisations, system like a local authority or a phase or national education system. So putting those together, you should be able to construct a sentence that allows you to actually go forward and set up a research question which you can answer. Okay, so we might give some examples, or you can look at some of the examples of previous studies where they have actually put their ideas together into a title which sums up what it is they're doing. So going back to our list of stages of carrying out research, I listed 12 things, and this first PowerPoint slide, which is lasting just about under 6 minutes, has really said where we are. We've completed stage 1 of carrying out your research, which is to establish the focus of the study. Now, I'm not going to talk about parts 2 and point 3, but I'm going to take you on in the next PowerPoint slide, which is PowerPoint 3, to talk about how you, PowerPoint 2, about creating research questions and hypotheses. Okay, stop there.